Hey guys, what's going on? So today I wanted to make a video to talk about and answer sort of a question I've been seeing come up in a lot of discussions surrounding trans people, and it's the question of why can't trans people just learn to love themselves instead of having to change their bodies? And for starters, I'm gonna take these glasses off so I don't get a glare. I want to start off by saying, self-love is not something I'm lacking. Yeah, I suffer from an abundance of dysphoria. Discomfort about my own body doesn't mean I hate myself. And this applies whenever you're trans or not. Instead of living in this body that distorted my truth, I decided to embrace who I was and make that visible to myself and as well as to everybody around. When people say, why can't you just learn how to love yourself? The reason why we can't learn how to love ourselves or, live in a body that doesn't visibly display your truth is exactly that. It's because that's not who we are. Our bodies are not a representation of how we feel, and so therefore this creates a lot of chaos and confusion within oneself because that is not our truth. And this is totally dismissing everyone who doesn't go under hormone therapy or have surgeries. A lot of people can't afford these medical procedures either because they don't have insurance or their insurance doesn't cover it, or some trans people honestly don't feel like they need to go on hormones or have surgeries in order to feel like the gender they are. And so that's another thing that people don't keep in mind. Not all trans people transition. Transgender people are not born into the wrong body. Saying that our bodies are wrong can sometimes suggest that we're inherently flawed or that being trans is a mistake rather than a part of our identity. Telling someone to disregard their gender identity is a much larger demand for many trans people than going through physical changes. The other day I was having a discussion with a person who happened to be cis, and we were talking about coming out and why it took me so long to come out. And they were telling me basically with good intentions that, I should have came out sooner, and that nobody, who cares what anybody would have thought, etc., etc. And this really irked me because it sort of struck me, this kind of mindset most cis people have of privilege and, this mentality. For so long I didn't come out because I was so afraid that people wouldn't accept me, and because the media has perpetrated so much violence and ignorance against our bodies. Trans women are killed because some man's masculinity is threatened all the time. When the entire world is constantly telling you that you're a fraud, that your body is disposable, that you have a mental disorder, how can you simply just tell someone to learn to love themselves despite that? I never want to hear a cis person tell me to learn how to love myself if we're not fully supported, not just tolerated but fully embraced. I never want to hear that come out of a cis person's mouth because they honestly don't know the struggle and the sufferings most of us have to undergo because of them. So the problem isn't that I don't love myself. The problem is that everyone else doesn't.